I think it's fair to say that this year's Pride Month just really hasn't hit like any ones in the past. Like, you see every once in a while some goofy stuff like this, and here I am recording this before the weekend, when any of the other Pride parades could be going down. We could see some of the most degenerate stuff ever, but here we just have obvious proof that this is just establishment propaganda. Like, you have the FBI walking in, I don't know, yeah, West Hollywood Pride Parade. No, okay. And the fact that most of it has just become so damn institutional. Like, you have the city of Fredericton, okay? If you don't know, that's the capital of New Brunswick, and if you don't know that, it's a maritime province out in the far east of Canada that, generally speaking, as somebody who lives in northern Alberta and who worked in the oil patch during the late 2000s, had met his fair share of New Brunswick transplants. Pretty based people, pretty good people, hardworking people. I've got nothing against them. Newfies on the other. Anyways, but I don't necessarily think that they're going to be down with stuff like this, okay, knowing the ones that I know. But this is what you have right now. It's just absolutely absurd, and this is just one of the many examples. But downtown Fredericton is looking a little brighter this morning as city crews paint. I should probably put on an Easterner accent. I'm going to end up, because the New Brunswick one is a little bit more subdued. Nova Scotia is a bit more over the top, and PEI, well, they're so minuscule it doesn't really much matter. I joke. PEI is probably the most tolerable of those four provinces over there. Anyways, but downtown Fredericton is looking a little brighter. Kind of Irish. It's kind of bastardized Irish. Oh, brighter this morning. The city crews paint a pride sidewalk in front of the city hall. This is one small step along our long road together toward a more inclusive and safe society for all. Yeah, this is your taxpayer dollars at work, and I know how much they get taxed over there, and oh boy, it's bad over here in Alberta, but it's the best of a terrible situation. That's your money at work, and yeah, people have pointed out, duh, he's got no paint on his paint roller. He's obviously putting sealer on it to make sure that, nothing ends up happening to this sacred of symbols. But this is so well received by people that they have to turn off their replies. This is a government account, by the way, so given the fact that this is Canada, you can in fact stifle free speech, and oh boy, the government is better at it than anybody else. But the fact that they hidden all the replies, but you just take a look at the quote tweets and it's being savaged time and time again because nobody likes this stuff. Okay, like the actual gays that they're trying to pander to, yeah, they don't want to see all this type of stuff. They just want to do this revolutionary thing called live their damn lives free of all of this indoctrination and pandering that everybody else sees as completely and totally vapid. The only people that feel validated by this are the terminally online weirdos. Nobody likes this stuff. Nobody wants to see this stuff, but here you have the government. Once again, the moment something goes mainstream or becomes fully adopted by the establishment is the moment it becomes uncool. I'm not even saying, pride or anything like that has ever been cool at all whatsoever. Frankly, I don't care how you live your life. More importantly, I don't want to know how you live your life. I barely care who you are, let alone what you want to do with your private parts, okay? But it's gotten to a point where it's so bad, okay, where you got Spokane Pride Sidewalk is vandalized days after teens charged with felonies for leaving scooter skid marks on a rainbow pavement. Yeah, and this ended up leading to so many interesting policy changes where Lime Scooters, okay, that's the brand, that's the company that was renting out those scooters that kids were using to deface this quasi-religious symbol, okay, just had the audacity to take a vehicle across a sidewalk, end up getting charged, booked, arrested. Meanwhile, this is Washington after all, but, hey, man, if they were throwing that scooter through a racist Walgreens or Target, well, they would have been justified in doing that. But Lime Scooters will no longer work on certain streets if they include gay rainbow murals. Presumably, Lime customers will have to carry their scooters over the Pride murals. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that kind of defeating the purpose of buying a motorized vehicle of sorts? I'm just wondering, okay, to prevent the wheels from making marks on painted streets and sidewalks. This is where we're at, man, and this is where we end up getting to a breaking point where everybody's just kind of done with this stuff because, like I was showing, man, okay, just take a look. This is West Hollywood, okay? This is ground zero for homosexuality, and that's the best turnout you can get. Some paid actors. I guess it's better than them, just putting on their best khakis, pretending to be Patriot Front, but I guess it's a good change of pace for them. The infamous Spokane Gay Pride Crosswalk was vandalized again on Tuesday, and this time with paint. The new incident occurred less than a week after 3 teenagers were charged with felonies. I wish I was making that up. We'll get to that story right right after this one, for riding scooters over the Pride crosswalk, painted in the street and leaving skid marks on it. The crosswalk is emblazoned with the colors of the big gay Pride progress flag at a busy downtown intersection. So yeah, you put it at one of the most visible intersections, and then you don't expect anybody to even accidentally leave tire marks. I mean, okay. Spokane Police Department said that they are investigating the incident. Yeah, because you have nothing better to do, but announced they will no longer be commenting on issues on press releases. Yeah, we're government servants, and we don't have to inform the public. Who are you? Oh, right, your boss. Releases on vandalism to the Pride crosswalk in an effort to deter future incidents from happening. Yeah, imagine that. That's almost like it's almost like a passive way for the public to let you know they don't want your religious symbols. Okay, there's supposed to be a separation of church and state, right? Why are you forcing all of this stuff down our throat when we clearly don't want it? In response, yes, to the incident of vandalism, Lime, yes, the no-go zone, we already read that. Democrat Governor Jay Inslee signed legislation to make it a felony to deface public pride symbols in March, and he did nothing in regards to signing legislation that would make rioting and looting any more punishable under the law, but all right, which took effect on June 6th. Well, very interesting. The charges came with a maximum penalty of up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. On June 5th, interesting. Okay, 3 teens were retroactively charged with the new laws. Huh, weird. Almost like that's unconstitutional, but it's a Democrat governor, and it's the Pacific Northwest. What do you expect? Arrested shortly after 9 p.m. for causing damage to a newly painted Pride mural. Imagine being the responding officer and unironically answering that call. Jesus, you know you're pathetic when. They were arrested on first-degree mischief charges per Spokane Police Department. First-degree mischief. Oh boy. What are you in for? I'm in here for killing. I'm in here for grape. I'm in here for first-degree mischief. Ooh, their arrest came after the city had repainted the mural after a group of people set fire to it in May. Yo, what? That's kind of great. Following the May 16th incident, Spokane city officials held a press conference to call out the hate. Yeah, it's almost like you should listen to your constituents and realize that, yeah, people don't like this, but this was the most offensive thing, right? This Adam Schwager something or other. KHQ. So yeah, that's the local NBC affiliate that's out there. He was out there filming these kids, which, okay, if you're out there unironically filming kids in public, you should probably be on a watch list, but then again, he probably also has to inform all of his new neighbors of his new living accommodations. But 3 teens are each charged with a felony, first-degree malicious mischief, for leaving scooter skid marks on the Pride Trans BLM flag in the streets. Well, because, yeah, you got the black and brown insignias on it as well, because that's not implied by the flag that whatever, it's all dumb. Prosecutor asked for a $15,000 bond, and Lime Bike says they will be taking action against the youths. Yeah, exactly, by making their motorized scooters not work anymore. Yes, witnesses photographed, recorded, and called police. Imagine being such a Karen, or what's the term? Trans Karen? There we go. Recorded and called police on the teens. Left-wing Washington State Governor Jay Inslee signed legislation to make it a felony, which, yeah, ends up being used against these kids. These actual kids, just letting you know that maybe there's a little bit of hope out there for the next generation, but you know, what we're going to have to deal with right now is just the insufferability of the current institutions. And brother, if they're out there running back policies like this, making sure that your scooters don't work, so that your sacred banners, okay, across every street being put up with your money, your taxpayer money, is going to this nonsense, this propaganda. And if you speak up against it, you're the one that gets hit with felonies. You're the one that gets hit with charges. There used to be a saying, okay, when it comes to the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, what was it? Shout out TJ, Thomas Jefferson. Every once in a while, the tree of liberty needs to be watered. And what do you have to water it with? It's something tyrants, something from tyrants. I'm not entirely sure. You know where I'm going with this one. And when your government no longer represents the will of the people, I mean, there's something that normally would happen in functioning societies, but We are so far gone, so far removed from that situation where I'm just happy that we're seeing people actively push back against this nonsense, and not in the pride sense of the term push back, because they like to do it with their hips, but we like to do it with our actions. So yeah, free those kids and keep on mocking this bullshit, because that's really what it is. And we're all sick of it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.